Welcome back, everybody, to Between Two Spines. We are on a train today, special on location. We are here, Dr. Greg Persley and Dr. Aaron Andrews, with Elaine, the service coordinator, volunteer coordinator. See, I messed up. Service volunteer coordinator here in Jackson. So I'm so excited that most people don't know about this.
Didn't even say where we're at.
We're on a train. I said we're on a train.
What train?
The Iron Mountain Railway train. I can't talk today.
And it is a very historic train.
You look more than you look like a conductor, engineer instead of just a volunteer.
Well, actually, we're all volunteers here at the railway. The train is run entirely by volunteers.
And that's the only one in Missouri, right? That's like that?
Probably,
Yep.
yes. I am what's called the train chief on the train, and that means I'm responsible for taking care of the safety and the entertainment of the passengers on board. So it's kind of a fun thing.
How many cars does your train have?
Well, right now we have 3 passenger cars. The interesting thing about the cars is they have wonderful history. For example, the car that we're sitting in right now is 95 years old.
Wow, it looks good for a 95-year-old
Does look
car.
good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
It has the original light fixtures in both of these cars. Also, the adjoining car is the same age, 95 years. They were built in 1926. The second car back, which is behind us here, has the original seating, and those seats were built into that car in 1926. The third passenger car right behind that also has a great history. It was built in the late 1940s, so it has a different look to it. It has a modern invention called air conditioning.
Woo!
Very popular in the summertime.
Yeah, I've heard of that, right? Well, you've got a lot of information on this. You know your stuff.
I should. I've been here long enough to know it.
I was just getting ready to ask, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this. This is my 11th year, actually. Yes, came here by accident. Brought here by my 5-year-old grandson, and then hung around. You know how that works.
She was saying earlier, Elaine and I were talking before we turned this on. She said her 5-year-old grandson brought her up here because he loved trains and they started to want to repaint the train. And what they found out was it was going to be, what was it, $6,000 to paint it,
yes.
to paint the engine.
Wow.
And so they started raising money and selling cupcakes on the weekends. And how long did it take you?
It took us about 1.5 years, but we've raised that money to get the engine painted.
Oh,
and
well, that's
you can see
awesome.
it's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So that was 10, 11 years ago. So now he is a conductor on the train.
How
so
cool.
Stayed in the family.
That's pretty amazing.
Well, if this was going on at that time, our listeners would have got that done.
Yeah, right.
They-
How long did it take?
It took us 1.5 years.
A year.
Year and a half.
Our listeners, our awesome listeners, it would have taken a month and a half.
A month and a half. They
That's
would have just
probably-
donated. We would put a donation link. And do you guys take donations still?
We do, because we are entirely run by volunteers, and this is a not-for-profit train. So everything that we get in ticket sales, it all goes right back into keeping the train going, keeping the track in shape, and everything else like that. Just takes a lot of money to keep a train running, especially a train that's this old.
Yeah.
So speaking of the track, how long is the track that this goes on?
We now have 6 miles of track. We go to Gordonville. So it's always a 2-hour excursion, and we were lucky enough this year to have major repair done on the track. Iron Horse came and put 1,000 new ties in for us.
Oh, wow.
So it made a big improvement in the track, and we're happy about that.
That's pretty amazing. I was saying before, over the years, I've been on this train a couple times for a couple different things. There was a Halloween, haunted Halloween ride up to Gordonville. That was really neat.
Yeah.
That was a few years ago. And then I've also been on when they had a mystery theater type deal. And it included dinner, and that was really neat too.
That's one of our most popular things, the murder mystery dinner trains, second only to the Santa Express.
Ah, yeah.
Probably
Santa
the
Express.
biggest
Polar
one of all.
Express.
Exactly right.
One of my kids' favorite seasonal shows.
They would love that.
Yeah.
They would love the train. It's magic. It's really Christmas magic. We are really proud to say that in the state of Missouri, the Iron Mountain is the #2 train attraction.
Oh, wow.
Right behind, guess what, Branson.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I know there's a lot of people that you talk to that they don't know that this is actually running and does things. It's amazing.
It is
they don't know
amazing.
that,
Yeah, a lot of folks here in Jackson say, does that actually move? And we say, well, we've been doing this for 35 years. You didn't notice it yet, you know.
How often does it go out on trips?
Train runs every Saturday. And then during the week we do private charters, but there's always a 1 o'clock train every Saturday. Very often dinner trains in the evening too.
Oh, wow.
We've got something really special coming up. I don't know if you've heard about it, the Bicentennial celebration.
Yeah, I did hear about
Okay.
that, yeah.
Well, that's the weekend of July 3rd and 4th, and we have a lot of special things planned for our passengers that weekend. We call it a rail fan weekend because it attracts rail fans from all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
We've had rail fans come from Great Britain to travel with us here on the train.
Wow.
So
There's a lot. I was when I was a kid. So I'm from. Did you live by train tracks in your little town?
I lived out in the middle of nowhere.
They
There were
didn't
more
have train
cows.
tracks?
There were more cows than people.
We had train tracks. I'm from Scott City, so the train tracks ran,
Yeah.
I don't know, 100 yards in front of our house. So, and same with my wife. She lived downtown Cape, and her train tracks were right by her house. So, we missed that. That sound is really soothing. Like a lot of people are annoyed by it, but it can put me to sleep. That sound is great.
So when he gets on the train, I'm just gonna watch him.
Yeah, but I was mowing lawns for a summertime job in my little neighborhood in Scott City one time, and this guy stopped and he made me stop mowing. He was like, "I don't want that. I'm sorry, son. I want you to come over here. There's history getting ready to be made. I don't want your mower sound in the background. I'm gonna videotape it." And some huge passenger train was going by, and he was like, "You won't understand, but one of these days you'll be able to say you saw the." I can't remember what it was now because it was 30 years ago. But it was some historic passenger train was going through Scott City and Cape and wherever. I don't.
Oh, let me
yeah.
tell you a little history here on this train. This Iron Mountain Railway became famous in 1874 when it was robbed by Jesse James.
Oh, sweet.
It's the first train to be robbed in Missouri. So Jesse James and a gang of outlaws robbed the Iron Mountain Railway at Gads Hill, Missouri, which is very famous. And at that time, the news spread over the entire country.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
It is remarkable. So we teach that history on the train. We teach the history of that robbery and of the James family. And we have our own gang of outlaws who come to rob the passengers almost every week.
That's awesome.
So it's very cool.
I experienced that when I was on the train.
Did you?
I did.
They robbed you?
They robbed me. Well, you know.
Yeah.
it was really neat. It was kind of, and it was, the acting was pretty good too.
It
pretty-
is a great piece of history that most people don't know about, but it's a great piece of history of this train also. So it's one of the things that keeps us going.
Yeah.
You know, teaching history.
You know what we should do? We should find those outlaws, tie them up, and then we are the outlaws and we rob it, and everyone thinks that it's a show, and we really rob everyone and say, you will get all your,
You'll get it back at the end.
you'll get it all back at the end,
Yeah.
and then we hop off the train into the woods and we're gone.
And they
there-
won't get it
there's
back,
two
right?
problems with that. Number one, you just gave away your
Oh,
mastermind
yeah, I'm in
plan.
trouble
That's
now.
the first main problem. Number two is, I don't think I would be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to follow through, man. I'm sorry.
Listen, they have weapons. They have a big shootout. This is
Yeah.
no joking around. You know, they have a real gunfight down
That's
in the
right.
village. So.
Well, that's really neat.
Yeah.
So anything that the viewers should know that you don't think they would know about the train? Anything else? I mean, you've given a lot of information.
We didn't quite get that Bicentennial weekend thing done. So we will have 3 trains that weekend. We'll have a 1 o'clock train on Saturday, an evening train, which is a Bicentennial train. We are partnering with Riverside Regional Library to do that train. It is free to the public.
Wow.
Only problem is there are only about 12 seats left on it because
Okay.
it is free to the public. And then again on Sunday afternoon on the 4th of July, we'll have a train, a special train. We will offer to all the public, they can do photo run-bys. And if you don't know how that works, we take you way down the track, we put you off the train, we back the train up and come flying by so you can make a video of it.
Well, that's pretty
It's
neat.
very cool. It's
That
very
is
cool.
neat.
And also, on those 2 trains, on the Saturday and Sunday 1 o'clock trains, passengers will be able to ride in the cab for a little bit if they would like to do that, or ride in the caboose.
Well, that's pretty fun too.
Yeah, there's no cabooses anymore, right? Is that right, or is that
They
true?
do not need cabooses
Right,
anymore.
yeah. Why is that? Don't know.
Everything's computerized, they just don't need them.
Mm.
The caboose served a really good function in that the conductor stands in the caboose and really he is the one who tells the engineer what to do. So they don't need that anymore.
You don't need that. Interesting.
Got computers.
What is this train powered by? That may be a silly question, but I don't know.
It isn't. There's a big engine up there. It's a 1951 E8 diesel.
So it's diesel fuel.
Diesel.
Oh.
Weighs 265,000 pounds.
Ooh.
Wow.
So,
I'm impressed. You know this stuff. This is
well,
amazing.
Of course.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, is there a link that we could put in here for the Bicentennial?
We can go to our website, which is slimrr.com.
Okay.
On that website, click on the 2021 schedule. It will take you to the Bicentennial train and to all the trains that we
Yeah.
have running the entire year.
And we'll put a link in the description too. So if you want to learn more about it, or if you want to join any of those events, click on the link and learn a little bit more at that website. That's amazing.
Do you guys have something to do with the food trucks that are here, or is that a separate event?
We have two things other than, of course, we have the train depot there. But we also have every Tuesday, we have the farmer's market here on the grounds. And then on Wednesday afternoons, beginning at 3:30, is a huge food truck rally. It's been going on for a year and a half now.
Okay.
So draws a big crowd. It's like a big community picnic. Everybody comes, sits
I've seen
outside of the picnic tables or in the depot
That's every Wednesday afternoon.
every Wednesday.
And now's the time to do that. Get out,
Yeah,
right?
That's
absolutely.
right.
Don't be scared
Absolutely.
anymore. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. I've learned a lot. I have, and my father-in-law's a really big train guy, and he loves trains, so he would really like this. So
We used to go lay the pennies on the tracks and everything.
Oh yeah, when I was
The
a
hard
kid.
part was trying to find them afterwards,
Yeah.
because they'd shoot out and be like, "Where?" and then you get
Yeah.
to search forever. But then you'd find your penny.
Yeah, it's amazing what nowadays the difference, because we used to go to baseball fields that had train tracks next to them, and we would do that. We'd go up there and lay the pennies.
My dad, speaking of baseball fields and trains, I think he probably has the Guinness World Record for the farthest home run ever hit. So I remember it. He was playing softball, and where was it? I think it might have been Scott City, and he hit a home run right as the train was going by, and it went whoop, right in the back of one of the bins.
Oh my
And
gosh.
off it went.
Off it went.
my
So
gosh,
yeah,
that's
farthest
incredible.
home run probably world record.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure. This has been fun. I loved all the information, the data that you have. That's amazing, because I like statistical stuff like that. Like, wow, how much, I wonder that stuff. I wonder how big that engine is. I wonder how much it weighs.
I have another question. Because you weren't going to ask one, you were just going to keep talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are there still hobos? Do you think? Because that used to be a
That
big
hop
thing.
on the trains,
like
is that
hop
what
on
you're
and off the trains, and yeah.
I don't know.
Probably not, because
You don't hear about that
trains-
very much
well,
anymore.
trains have changed so much
Yeah.
now. They're so modern,
Yeah.
and they don't have the same access.
Yeah.
That
You
they
can't probably get
once
into the rail yard like you used to. And
Yeah,
all
you see that on movies and stuff. They run up and I try to hop on one.
Yeah.
did. And you
that's
can't just
interesting.
hop in a train car.
Yeah, I just want, because they would just go cross country, and it wasn't just hobos. It was just someone wanting to get away. They would hop on a train and go to San Francisco or wherever
Huh.
they wanted to go.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
It just popped in my head. Like, I just wonder
if
if
you
that's
hop
a
on
thing.
ours, we
anymore.
can take you to Gordonville. That's
There you
about
go.
as
There you
far
go.
as
If you want to hitch a ride to Gordonville, hop on the train. Well, that's great. Well, make sure you number one, like, comment, share. We always say that. Like, comment, and share. And number two, if you have any questions or want to see when you can participate in any of the events that are on the grounds, go to the website, click the link above. And we really appreciate you being on this. This is
Thank
amazing.
you so much.
Yeah.
I love
I
talking
love
with
the
you.
outfit. I'm gonna have to get myself one of these outfits.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe we could show up at work one day, both of us wearing "Don't Say a Thing." All the girls at the office, they'd be
like, what?
"What is
Yeah,
happening?"
yeah.
They wouldn't say anything. Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Why are you
doing
wearing
this.
that?
Really appreciate
Wearing
you
what?
doing
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're trying to share as much about our local community as possible, get people more active, get them out in the public. Obviously last year there was a lot of things going on, so this year we're trying to get people, to learn more about what's going on. And it really does amaze me how many people really have no idea about this and that it actually runs and that there are events and especially on the grounds. I didn't know about the food trucks on Wednesday, so now I'm going to tell my wife to come out here. And then also the farmers market as well. I'm going to have her come out for that as well.
How many volunteers do you have on a run?
Well, I'd say maybe 10.
10.
And it varies week to week.
Do you need more volunteers?
We always need volunteers. We also need people who are willing to train to be conductors or engineers. We have training programs for that.
Wow.
So if there's anyone who's interested in that, come and see us.
Well, you're going to have a lot of people hopefully knocking on the train door come up to be, especially conductor and engineer. That's really neat. Well, click the link above if you want to learn more. Other than that, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you having us on site. A special edition on a train. This is the first one we've ever done on a train.
That's right.
And if you would like to participate in any of the events that are coming up, make sure you go to the website, which is linked above. Thank you again. This has been another episode of Between Two Spines, first one on a train, and we will catch you next time.